Lagos State Government, United Nations target 5,000 participants for First Africa Social Impact Summit. President Tinubu flags off Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, inaugurates Apapa Oworoshoki Ojota Expressway, other projects in Lagos. On the foreign scene, Israeli airstrikes kill at least 35 people in southern Gaza city of Rafah, and in sport, Nigeria international Victor Osimhen makes 2023-2024 Syria team of the season. Now the details. I am Dele Agadumo. Lagos State Government, in partnership with United Nations Systems Nigeria, targets over 5,000 participants in July for the first Africa Social Impact Summit in the state. Speaking at a press conference, Commissioner for Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Investments, Folashade Ambrose Medibim, stated this at the summit and the summit aims to address issues and challenges necessitated by UN Progress Report, which states that in the 17 Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs), more than half of the world are being left behind. According to her, progress on more than 50% of targets of the SDGs is weak and insufficient, and it has stalled or gone into reverse on 30% with key targets on poverty, gender equality, hunger and climate, and hence the need for the summit to be as a beacon of hope and a call to action to forge a path towards sustainable development that is both inclusive and actionable.
At the end of this high-impact summit, a number of the outcomes expected are as follows: we will build a result-oriented and innovative global and regional partnerships in order to accelerate the implementation of the SDGs and to develop user-friendly, digestible, bite-sized, sector-focused, actionable steps. Steps for relevant sector stakeholders that will address those critical need areas with timelines towards 2030.
Convener of the Africa Social Impact Summit, Olapweju Ibekwe, who commended the Lagos State Government for agreeing to host the High Impact Program, noted that it will focus on education, climate solutions, food security, youth empowerment, renewable energy, water sanitation and hygiene, transition to circular economy, among others.
Therefore, hosting this summit in Lagos is of immense significance to the people, planets, and businesses in Africa, while strengthening existing economic ties that will be mutually beneficial to the high-level audience expected at the summit this year.
The summit will also review the transformative recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic, the decade of action for accelerating the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals, and progress at this midpoint to the deadline for 2030 agenda. The Lagos State Government has taken steps to ensure that the Basic Travel Allowance (BTA) for intending pilgrims is not affected as a result of epileptic's foreign exchange rates. This is after a recent protest by some intending pilgrims who alleged irregularities with $400 BTA given to them instead of the $500, as announced by the National Hajj Commission, NACON. NACON had calculated 1,225 naira per dollar to calculate Hajj fare to give each pilgrim $500 as BTA, and the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) released BTA at 1,530 naira per dollar, which gives each pilgrim $415 instead. Lagos State Commissioner for Home Affairs, Ibrahim Layode, said Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu approved the payment of the $100 shortfall for each of the pilgrims, pending the resolution of the matter by both NACON and CBN. Layode assured the pilgrims that the promises made by the governor to pay for their sacrificial rams, Ihram clothes and ziyarah and visitation to historical sites both in Mecca and Medina will all be fulfilled. The federal government has postponed the inauguration and retreat for members of the governing councils of all tertiary institutions, earlier slated for Thursday 30th and Friday 31st May 2024. The government, in a statement by the Director, Press and Public Relations of the Federal Ministry of Education, Folashade Boriowo, explained that the action was as a result of the presidential directive as conveyed in a State House press release for a comprehensive review of the membership of the governing councils. While it said it regretted any inconveniences the action may cause, the government assured that further updates will be communicated in due course. And now to the rest of the stories. President Bola Tinubu says the 700 kilometers Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway will fast-track economic development, bring markets closer to the people, and prosperity to the nation. President Tinubu said this when he flagged off the commencement of the highway and other legacy projects being undertaken by the Federal Ministry of Works. He said in line with his commitment to ensure effective infrastructure development across Nigeria, his administration is determined to improve security and build a prosperous nation.
The dream is realizable. Set on a journey determined to build a nation of prosperity, embark on bold endeavor so that your country can be successful. Generations yet unborn can have a good landmark and memory to treasure.
The president restated his administration's commitment to complete the project and other ones as it would create wealth and employment opportunities for millions as well as connect communities. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, said through the project, the president is laying a very strong foundation for Lagos State's new megacity and urbanization development. Umahi also said due process was highly followed on the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project. Present at the event were the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, state governors, members of the National Assembly, traditional rulers, among other stakeholders. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has lauded President Bola Tinubu for embarking on transformational projects and taking decisions that will make life more meaningful for residents of the state. The governor said this at the flag-off of the commencement of the 700 kilometers Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway and other legacy projects. He said the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, which traversed many states, would bring about generational change and development as well as tourism opportunities for Nigeria.
But the beauty of this is not only in Lagos, because this route goes and travels Ogun State, goes into Ondo State, get into Edo State, traverse Delta State, get into River State, get into Bayelsa State, get into Akwa Ibom State, before it finally do a bus stop across River State. Mr. President, you deserve a big round of applause.
The governor said the president had done monumental projects, saying the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, when completed, would be an architectural masterpiece, which would also boost economic activities. President Bola Tinubu has inaugurated the 37 kilometers reconstructed Apapa-Oworoshoki-Ojota Expressway and the rehabilitated 3rd Mainland Bridge in Lagos. President Tinubu, who was represented by the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, said both projects are critical indications of fulfillment of the renewed hope agenda for Nigerians, stating that the administration's road infrastructure drive cuts across the country. Tinubu expressed delight that the reconstructed Apapa-Oworoshoki-Ojota Expressway would guarantee rapid economic development of Lagos State and the country in general.
This is a government that promised Nigeria a renewal of hope, and that is what we are witnessing today. Hope renewed, not just for Lagos, but for the whole of this country. It will interest some of those who are not from Lagos to know that Lagos is a cradle of the entirety of all the tribes of Nigeria.
Minister of Works David Umahi described the reconstructed Apapa-Oworoshoki-Ojota Expressway as a testament of the high-value cement technology, noting that the road will last 50 to 100 years as against asphalt.
We are celebrating that road today because it was well done and because a new technology that is very suitable to our environment has been introduced. One thing that we don't also know is that we are bound to earn a lot of tax credits because the rate of heat emission by the reason of the use of concrete road is quite very low compared to that asphalt.
Umahi, who outlined the ongoing work on Third Mainland Bridge and other bridges, pleaded with the Senate President and federal legislators present to consider emergency funding of the rehabilitation of the identified bridges in Lagos. Works on the 37 kilometers expressway reconstructed under the tax credit scheme started in year 2018 during the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari. In out of foreign news, Israeli airstrikes have killed at least 35 Palestinians and wounded dozens in an area in the southern Gaza Strip city of Rafah, designated for the displaced. The Israeli military said its air force struck a Hamas compound in Rafah and that the strike was carried out with precise ammunition and based on precise intelligence. A spokesman for the health ministry in the Hamas-run Gaza, Ashraf al-Qidra, said those killed and injured were mostly women and children. The strike took place in Tel al-Sultan neighborhood in western Rafah, where thousands of people were taking shelter after many fled the eastern areas of the city, where Israeli forces began a ground offensive over 2 weeks ago. Now sports. Nigeria international Victor Osimhen has been included in the 2023-2024 Serie A team of the season, following another impressive season with Napoli. Osimhen made the 23-man list unveiled on the official social media channels of the Italian Serie A. Although he was not as prolific as he was during the 2022 and 2023 season, when he finished as a Serie A top scorer with 26 goals, guiding Napoli to the first Scudetto title in over 3 decades. In a season where the former champions lost 11 games and only managed 13 wins, Osimhen still managed to score 15 goals and had 3 assists in 24 league games. Despite his low performance, Osimhen remains Napoli's top scorer and 3rd highest scorer in the top flight league. And that ends our news at 10. Just before we go, your vehicle is not a strong room. Please keep your valuables off the view of miscreants. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X Traffic Radio 961, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch our news and programs live on YouTube at Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website at trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration initiated 500 hectares rice farm technology intervention project? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news, are the highlights of the major stories. Lagos State Government, in partnership with United Nations Systems Nigeria, targets over 5,000 participants in July for the first Africa Social Impact Summit in the state. President Bola Tinubu has flagged off the 700 kilometers Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. The president also inaugurated the 37 kilometers reconstructed Apapa-Owo-Shoki-Ojota Expressway and the rehabilitated Third Mainland Bridge in Lagos. We also told you that Israeli airstrikes have killed at least 35 Palestinians and wounded dozens in an area in the southern Gaza Strip city of Rafah, designated for the displaced. And in sport, Nigeria international Victor Osimhen has been included in the 2023-2024 Serie A team of the season, following another impressive season with Napoli. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That ends the news broadcast compiled by Adirayo Iduwolaya. I am Dele Agadumo. Good morning. Thank you for listening.